saying we see that she has these strengths and needs is not enough for that baseline. If we're going to give a baseline, we need to say here's a TEK and here's a percentage for where she's currently performing. When we want to find a baseline, we're going to look at how she did on the CDB. Now, a CDB isn't the only thing we're going to look at. Remember, I said we're going to look at teacher notes, we're going to look at anecdotal notes, because maybe Jenny had a bad day when she took the CDB. Maybe she didn't sleep last night. Maybe she didn't eat breakfast. Maybe she walked into school that day and her boyfriend broke up with her and her world is going to end. So her whole day is shot for learning. Maybe Jenny just decided she has a behavior and she's not going to take this test today and she's just going to bubble. These things happen with our kids, so we can't look at one snapshot of a day, like a CDB or a STAR, and say that's it, they need a goal for all of these things. We need to look at the big picture. That's why I say we need to go back to those anecdotal notes, back to those how they're performing in class, and see how they're doing there. But when I look at this CDB, I'm also going to say, well, Jenny got a 35. We get how the campus did, and maybe the campus was at a 30. Jenny did better than the campus. I'm going to use that as a celebration. Maybe the district was at a 40, so Jenny was between the campus and the district. So I'm going to look at that big picture and not just say, well, she got a 35, so she did horribly. Jenny might have actually done well in relation to her peers, is she struggling significantly more than her peers? So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go TEK by TEK on the CDB and see where her needs are. I'm going to look at this first TEK and say, okay, use context to determine or clarify the meaning of unfamiliar or ambiguous words. Well, for this question, she missed it. So one question, one wrong. And I'm going to keep looking as I go through the CDB. And I see that again at question number 11. So now there's 2 questions that she's missed on the same TEK. And I'm going to keep going and look all the way to question 20. And the third time they asked this question on this TEK is question 14. She missed it again. So she's at 0% for this TEK. Now I'm going to look at how she's doing with this TEK in the classroom. And I'm going to say, you know what, in the classroom, she's sitting at about 30%. So on that CLAF data, I'm going to say baseline, CDB1. I'm going to list this TEK, and I'm going to say CDB1, 0%. I'm going to list this TEK and say classroom data. She's sitting at 30%. So when we come together as an art committee, we can say, you know what, it looks like Jenny really has a need here. We might need to write a goal. What is a reasonable, measurable goal that we can write for her? Maybe she only needs to get up to 50%. We don't want to set it over 70% because we ask all kids to be at 70% at least. So we don't want to say she needs to be at 80%. But for Jenny, she's only performing right now at 30%. Maybe 50% is reasonable for her to achieve in a year or to work towards in a year.